characters: Delta, Kawa, Tensui, and Noxidot MP4.
I can actually confirm with you with what I'm seeing here. That is Charenji, the Japanese pronunciation. So yeah, that is challenge on delicious spaghetti dinner. So again, both you to your point, double elim formats will and you're guaranteed to pretty much make a day 2 bracket somewhere along the way. We got a lot to talk about here. So just to get you guys oriented here, Irish Monarchy on the opposite side, that'll be the green colored side. Purple colored side will be your delicious spaghetti dinner. Again, tech issues will not have the scoreboard online. What strikes out to you right away here?
I mean, I think it would be easier to say what doesn't stand out to me. I think the most normal things on screen are the 50 down and the Splatoon stamper. Everything else, very interesting. I mean, we're starting on humpback pump track zones. Anything goes here, that's for sure. So this will be a very interesting way to start our match. I believe that is the delicious spaghetti dinner in the purple and, the Irish Monarchy in the green. Already, it looks like the spaghetti dinner is off to a strong start here, looking to extend their lead even further.
I want to go back to the weapons here, as this is going to be a quick zone swap here, potentially, giving Irish Monarchy giving themselves a huge amount of time to get that all squared away. But to your point, I feel like this is like the least normal game of weapons that we have here. I think the Slaughter deck is the even surprising one. That's the one with the Zipcaster, which I'm a little surprised to see, but I have seen teams just try to run this weapon from time to time. Paintbrush Vanilla making it stand out, and I believe there is that cooler option available from the Irish Monarchy with those red dapples. So this could be a fun little matchup for the people who like unconventional weapons, to say the least here. As we do get this delicious spaghetti, they're going to be out of the penalty points here soon. 2 members already going down here, and we got this brawl in the zone, but it looks like Fusion, the delicious spaghetti dinner, is still holding strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've had very nice control for the majority of this game. 3 members knocked out on the side of Irish Monarchy, and that is going to be huge now. They're going to be staggered. They're going to be forced to run back into the zone. We've got Noxy on this right side trying to start a little bit of a flank, take the attention away from the zone, but maybe it was a little bit too early as the Irish Monarchy storms back in. They have enough paint for the zone. The Reef Slider neutralizes it again, but does not find any picks. So this game is going to continue. Nice job stabilizing and bouncing back for the Irish Monarchy. Even rocking that green as well.
You know, the Irish Monarchy, I love the RNG colors from Splatoon, rocking the correct colors. It's a lot of bonus points there. Shoutouts, by the way, to the Ultra Stamp toss that also got a pick from the right-hand side of the map there, which allowed the Irish Monarchy to continue to fight back. But of course, the delicious spaghetti dinner again on the purple side is still fighting back pretty well. They're treating this as a small bump in the road. They did lose 2 members of their own. The 3 members, however, have gone down by the end of it here, as it looks like Delta from the delicious spaghetti dinner still trying to fight back. The delayed wipeout, I guess, as 1 member has already respawned there. Irish Monarchy still very much fighting strong here, Fusion.
Yeah, absolutely, and now that they have some space to work with, they could get that cooler online. I mean, Dapple doesn't get cooler all that quickly, but once it has that chance, it can use it pretty well aggressively. Man, all that aggressive play coming out from Irish Monarchy is going to net them 3 picks, and now they're going to be able to bring that timer below 50. Finally, they seem to have stabilized. They have some control. The Burst Bomb ends up comboing with the other members of their team. TK moving around this right side. They're going to force Delicious Spaghetti Dinner onto that low ground. They're kind of all stuck on that left side. Are they able to find a pick? They're not able to chase it down. The Wavebreaker wreaking havoc. And that is going to... that is going to tear apart the defense of the Irish Monarchy, but nonetheless, this hammer coming out manages to find some picks, and despite all of that effort, the Irish Monarchy hangs on and comes back to take the first game of SuperJump 6.
You know, Fusion, I think I had the same thought as you did. It's like, all right, Irish Monarchy, defense has crumbled. Somehow, some way, they were able to win a lot of fights towards the end there against the delicious spaghetti dinner. And also, heavy credit to the fact that they were down a huge deficit But of course, with a lot of time left on the clock, it pretty much allowed the Irish Monarchy to make a lot of things work there, and that's just really awesome to see from this team, because I know for some the panic starts settling in. We're down 7 points remaining, but when you have a lot of time left on the clock, anything can definitely happen, especially on a small map. So I think Fusion, a lot of credit to the Irish Monarchy staying resilient at the face of being down to just the 7 points remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great job from them managing to hang on. I think Humpback Pump Track can be a little bit scary. I mean, we saw the bucket come out without strikes. There honestly wasn't too much of a way to like guarantee the zone in that map. We saw, I believe, was that 3 buckets on the side of the Irish Monarchy. They had that reef slider. They're able to just hang on to the zone despite everything. I mean, great job. I think especially the Wellstring which is that's where that hammer came from, right? Yeah, really interesting weapon. Great for holding down space, and that hammer can be a get off me tool, and that's exactly what it did there. Because it seemed like Delicious Spaghetti Dinner. They got a couple picks. They're like, okay, we can all just dive the Wellstring now, but no, the bow has a surprise in store, and they managed to hang on. Great stuff.
Yeah, that is, and just a lot of great work really from I just got, of course, the dub going to the Irish Monarchy there. And I'm sure you guys may have just noticed that with the repairs coming in, we got the scoreboard in a working state. So you guys now got everything pretty much all sorted out here. Of course, it's still the best of 5 for those wondering here. So you go on to a tried and true classic here, Fusion of Inkblot Art Academy tower control. And I mean, there are some days where you're just like, all right, maybe we could go back to a different tower control map, and then there are days like we got to go back to Inkblot somewhere along the way, Fusion.
Yeah, the second horseman of the apocalypse is here. Can be a little bit snowbally, but you know, everything being said, with all of the interesting picks in terms of weapons that came out from both teams there, that felt so specific to Humpback Pump Track. I really doubt we're going to be seeing, like, for example, like a Dreadringer, 3 buckets, a Wellstring on Tower Control Inkblot. That said, I don't know what all of these players love in terms of weapons just all the time, but yeah, we are going to see some massive shakeups here. Same weapon classes, I think, for the most part, but interesting adaptation. We are going to be seeing that Rapid Pro Deco coming out from Dark. Fine Motion going to be rocking the Galuga Dually. So now that Booyah Bomb on one side is going to be one way to secure that tower. Will Delicious Spaghetti Dinner be able to utilize that? Okay. And it seems like Delicious Spaghetti Dinner is going to create some space in the middle of the map. This is off to a great start for them. They had a strong start last game, but they weren't able to hold it for quite as long as they hoped. It's going to be them into that first checkpoint, and despite their effort, they are not going to be able to push past it. They do not break that checkpoint, and now getting completely wiped in the process means they are going to have their work cut out for them to push, they're going to have their work cut out for them if Delicious Spaghetti Dinner gets back in time, and they do exactly that. So I'm really surprised how quickly Delicious Spaghetti Dinner managed to get back in, but it seems like they were able to do just that. Both teams really throwing everything at that first checkpoint and seeing what sticks.
Fusion, I assume I'm back alive again? Is this
welcome?
Yeah, welcome. Yep. Look, even the tech issues got me. And to your point, too, a lot of great opportunities there from the Delicious Spaghetti Dinner, but just not able to break through that first checkpoint. They did lose a lot of members across the board, but everything's just happening at a very rapid pace, to say the least, for both teams here. Fights happening across the board, left and right and center here. So Irish Monarchy, they got a few specials online, but they just can't get any advantages, especially if Delta with that softer deco gets a few picks on the board and keeps them alive. But to the point, nobody really getting a true advantage quite yet here. And Fusion, this tower still very much in neutral. Irish Monarchy does have advantage of a 2 down, make that a delayed 3 down. They could opt to push if they want to. I think that's what they're going to do right now here, Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of been team deathmatch so far. Neither team, both teams have like wiped multiple times trying to get this first checkpoint. As soon as they get to the checkpoint, they are not able to get onto the plat quick enough. The specials come out, and that's exactly what's going to happen again here. It is 81-80. We are halfway through this game. Delicious Spaghetti Dinner manages to stop the tower, but they don't manage to get any more out of it, and that's actually huge, especially with that second jump coming in. That's going to be a huge stagger. The Irish Monarchy may have just broken the ice here, especially since they're now able to get that Glugaduli into the bats. They're able to clear the space up there, perhaps drop a wall, drop a wall, create some space, get the picks they need, and maybe the tower falls behind. It's still at that first checkpoint. They do get the lead.
You know what? There were several moments I think both you and I were holding our breaths, like they're gonna get the first checkpoint, right? The answer is still no, by the way. They got the lead, but no checkpoint to be broken. They are winning a lot of the fights, but the problem is the objective is not being taken care of throughout that portion. Now they finally break through. The Booyah Bomb being thrown in there to absolutely space out Delicious Spaghetti there, and now everything's starting to break wide open right now for the Irish Monarchy. Actually, this could be a lot more. This could be the second checkpoint because once they have the control here, Fusion, they have total control of that Delicious Spaghetti Dinner's plat side there, and they are still going down. This could potentially be KO territory here, Fusion.
Yeah, it seems like it. TK being aggressive with that zip caster, not able to find anything. Fine Point's done so much work with that Glugaduli's clearing out the bats, playing super proactively. The tower is now finally able to move up behind the team, and there's the wipeout. All it took was one push that broke through. The Irish Monarchy gets that tower to the final checkpoint. The roller can't do anything without the paint. The tower's going to roll through that Booyah Bomb. It's going to be a knockout, and that is what we know Inkblot Tower Control for. It's Irish Monarchy 2 and Delicious Spaghetti Dinner 0.
This was pretty much a tale of two games, to say the least. You have moments where you'll be thinking, all right, they're just gonna play team deathmatch for like the next 3 minutes, and then Irish Monarchy, credit to them, despite all the crazy skirmishes that are happening across the board, they were able to make a lot. They were able to win out the fights on delayed threes, and then when things started to go wrong for Delicious Spaghetti Dinner, they started to go horribly wrong because because you could see several moments where they were trying to play catch up there, solve a few reslaughter usages be used to get Irish Monarchy out of there, but it was to no success. And it feels like it was a complete contrast from what we saw in the first 3 minutes, because everything kind of just ramped up to 100 in the last minute. But again, Irish Monarchy, instead of having to play from behind, they definitely played far ahead, and that's how they got the 2-0. And I mean, Fusion, we have everybody's hotly contested game mode coming up, to say the least here. Scorch Gorge Rainmaker is gonna be the third map, and of course Game Point coming up here for the Irish Monarchy.
I guess it is. I mean, it really was like a tale of two games there, and it really is reminiscent of that first game. I mean, Delicious Spaghetti Dinner they did manage to break out to that early lead, but once Irish Monarchy got control, they just did not let go. It felt like Delicious Spaghetti Dinner was just kind of panicking as time ran out, and I think that going into this next map, or this next stage, Scorch Gorge, this is a very dangerous map to try and, dive for that Rainmaker on. I mean, we saw a little bit of it at Riptide as well. It can be easy to camp that Rainmaker. That checkpoint is very, very dangerous, especially if you have something like a Wellstring coming out with that hammer. Very difficult to try and push through. It's such a narrow choke point. The entire enemy team could focus you down. Both teams really need to exercise their patience here, and in order to really fully clear out the pushes that both teams are going to push past that checkpoint on Rainmaker. But we're going to see how teams adapt, whether we're going to be seeing changes in team composition here. We do not see a Wellstring coming out. Instead, we are going to be seeing that Rapid again, which is a very interesting option here as well. Very similar stuff again coming out from Delicious Spaghetti Dinner as we head into Game 3.
Game 3, something to keep an eye on with Delicious Spaghetti Dinner is double cooler setup as well. You got that heavy edit and Tri-Slosher Nouveau to help round out that weapon side. But I'm not gonna be able to speak up to it much longer because that's an immediate wipeout. Not ideal if you are the Delicious Spaghetti Dinner trying to get a furious rally here in the early game. That's the first checkpoint already punched through from Dark. Yeah, you had 2 members, no problem. The wipeout was already secured. And the Slosher and Delta just flies too close to the Rainmaker bubble and goes down. And that's going to be the Rainmaker picked up. Already 3 members going down here. Fusion already down to the 30 points. Make that 24. And the Rainmaker has been dropped. So far, Delicious Spaghetti Dinner on a majorly huge deficit. They're having to risk. They're trying to not force the reset. In fact, they're trying to wrestle from the other side of the map. Okay, I guess that I saw what they were trying to do there, but at the end, the Rainmaker's now dropped near the edge. But I don't think Irish Monarchy is gonna be in position to fight for it unless they are able to. But it looks like that won't be the case. Delta, excuse me, able to drop that down to a safer right side. Fusion, what a strong start though from the Irish Monarchy, down to 24 points remaining.
Absolutely. I mean, they survived that paintbrush diving at them from the high ground, and after that, it was all gas, no brakes. They just dashed with that Rainmaker as far as they could and got themselves a very, very nice score on this map. 24 is very difficult to beat. It's going to take quite a bit of effort for Delicious Spaghetti Dinner to come back from that. Waybreaker, I feel like, has done so much work in this series so far, but perhaps not enough. The Zipcaster from the bucket not going to be able to find anything. Ends up landing directly in front of the bullets of the Irish Monarchy, and they are going to hang on to the middle of the map here. Now, fine motion with the Gluga on the left side, trying to create some more aggression, but Irish Monarchy does not need to be super aggressive at this point. They just need to hang on to their lead.
Yeah, dude, all they really need to do is hang on to their lead, and especially with just the members just going down really quickly here from Delicious Spaghetti Dinner with just the paintbrush that was up for some period of time. I'm trying to put together like what exactly does Delicious Spaghetti Dinner need to do, because they are just getting absolutely thrashed here by the Irish Monarchy across the board. Dark is just holding on to this Rainmaker. I mean, Dark can just hold on to it and just let them explode. And see where it goes, because I mean 30 seconds into it, they're still winning out the fights. Delicious Spaghetti, they're just getting quickly ran out of the building, and now they have a good opportunity to get even more points on the board. They forget the idea of just holding on to it. If you're able to take advantage, why not get the KO? But they get stopped by Delicious Spaghetti Dinner there, but it starts to look more and more worrying for the most part for the Delicious Spaghetti Dinner. They just had to just get the Rainmaker out of there, but Fusion, game 3, it's total domination from the Irish Monarchy.
Yeah, the Irish Monarchy just in absolute control, reigning over Scorch Gorge Rainmaker. They have that lead. They're just being so aggressive. They are able to find the picks they need, but I think they're just playing very smart with the objective. They're just playing ahead of it. They're getting the picks they need. They're not overextending. We can see how the Rainmaker is generally trying to play pretty evasive, but that said, because they have such a big lead, they don't necessarily need to grab it. And now that they grabbed it, they go 3 down. Delicious Spaghetti Dinner does finally have some space, some control. They have the Rainmaker line in mid. Are they going to be able to capitalize on it?
Well, that's going to be the ultimate question there, especially with Delicious Spaghetti. They're just not allowed to get their bearings set there. I'm wondering when they're going to be able to take advantage of the coolers there to possibly play aggro and try to find Irish Monarchy in positions they don't want to be in. Because so far it hasn't seemed to work out in their favor. They're just getting cornered by a whole surround of orange ink here from the Irish Monarchy, and it starts to just be a complete stagger game. Delta, I'll give them credit, excuse me, getting the pick onto the Rainmaker, but that Rainmaker's just in a rough location. So for Delicious Spaghetti Dinner, they're just trying to rush forward one by one. And it's all sorts of hero plays, to say the least. But the Irish Monarchy is just accepting everybody just rushing in on them, and I mean they could just let that Rainmaker just sit there for as long as they can, especially the wipeout being there. 25 seconds left to go in the game, and I think Irish Monarchy are just content riding this one to the finish line. Although fine motion might just, but okay, yeah, they're just gonna go for the all right. Let's just call it.
I think they're gonna blow up before. Yeah, they're gonna blow up before the timer ends.
Maybe. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the speed here. Let's see how long this is over. Oh my god. No, wait, are they gonna blow up? Are they just gonna force the reset? They chopped the Rainmaker. This is gonna be the longest overtime of all time that I've ever seen from Side Motion. You did not need to do it to Delicious Spaghetti Dinner. This is unreal that we are seeing SuperJump 6 and they get the wipeout. What the heck was the last sequence? Irish Monarchy at this point literally just playing with their food against Delicious Spaghetti Dinner. Okay, it's a 3-0 sweep. Let's just move right along here, Fusion. They advanced in the next round. round for them.
Yeah, as silly as that looked, I don't know if the result would have been any
Yeah.
different on any other game mode. It just looked a little bit sillier. That said, yeah, delicious spaghetti dinner gets eaten up. Very tasty. The Irish Monarchy, very dominant. They kind of took their time getting themselves together, but really, once they were able to like start their pushes, get their footing, they were very dominant throughout that set. Great stuff for them. They're going to be moving on to round 2 of their pools. Could be very challenging. There are so many good teams in this tournament. It's going to be hard to avoid a difficult situation, a difficult match, even in just like your round 2, especially since I think a lot of the pools have 6 teams. So you're going to be fighting a very strong team very, very quickly. The Irish Monarchy is going to be able to really test their skills in this day 1 of SuperJump.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still having that. I'm still having that hilarious like style finish from